So we have a lot to fix. So let's get started. We're first going to start with the controller. I kinda want to fix a few things. Now, don't worry about the hand sticking out like that. Is because I've actually created a torch, and we have some new animations to show. For example, this animation, which also combos to that. But with the new animations, I found out that we actually have a problem with the combos on the left hand. And of course, they don't fix the right hand. So yeah, as you can see, this is pretty cool. But we need to fix our controller because, as you can see, at some points, well, I'm a little bit flying of the air. There's some few errors coming from the enemies, so don't worry on them. Fix this as well. And yeah, you see that jumping up and down, that's not really what I like to have. And of course, there is some few cases that we might freeze entirely like this. So let's go get to it. Let's see. This is coming from the runtime stats of the AI controller. Let's actually see what this is. So yeah, I'm just going to boot this here, so we can ignore this now. And well, let's go to our main scene actually, so we don't have to worry about let's go to the hub scene. Okay, and let's drop a directional light for now. We don't really need any of this. So on our player references, I've now have it as a prefab. So I'm just going to unpack it and we're going to go over here and work with it. So up till now, we were using a caps collider and a rigid body, and we were moving with velocity on the rigid body. We're gonna try something new now. So first of all, let's make sure we don't have any movement. And we're going to go on the controller, and we're actually going to get rid of all of this. Now, the jump will be useful, but we also need to change how we actually do things in here. So yeah, of course, the handle animations will also be useful, but we're also going to try this. Well, we actually have to separate this because we might be using the controller for multiplayer. So anyway, for now, let's just get rid all of, well, not get rid, we're just going to comment it out. Okay, we're still going to use most of it, but we won't be applying the velocity to the controller, and we won't have to do a check for ground anymore. You'll see why. Let's make sure that yeah, okay, there's no move amount to this, so let's just comment it out as well. Let's just make sure that we're not moving at all, which shouldn't be the case. We might fall down, but that's just because we have physics on. Okay, so what's happening is we're basically hitting down with the controller. So we like that. And hold on. So let's go and write our logic. Now we're going to use a character controller, which means we have to add a reference to our character controller. That's the character controller Unity has. Okay, let us call it controller, and then on init we just need to assign this as well. Get component character controller. When moving then, let's see, move character. When moving then, we're not going to check for ground anymore. You'll see why. We do want to have the move amount, so that's mostly used for the animation though, so I think we could just take this out of here and put it in here. We do want to use the damage collider, so this needs to be separated into its own positions because we're going to use them for multiplayer as well. Then let's ignore the rotation for now. We still want to rotate, obviously, so we want to, we basically need to change this now. So things will stay the same. We still want to find the target velocity, and we're still going to create it based on camera movement. So all of this is fine. Now, when we're interacting, we are of course changing the target velocity based on the delta position of our animation. This will stay the same. And if you're not interacting, this has to do, I don't know why we have this like this, but we're closing the controller for some reason. Anyway, so here's where things are going to change, and here's what will not change. Target velocity, when we project on plane, we want to project on plane because we have the current normal. Okay, then instead of adding the velocity to the rigid body, we're actually going to say controller dot move. There is two ways to move. One is the simple move, and the other is a bit of more complex function. So we're going to just assign target velocity for now. Let's bring back the rotation as well for now, because we're not really going to do a big change or any change to that. So let's see how this will affect now our controller. It will mostly be the same. There is a few things missing, however, keep that in mind. So let's take a look. That's the power collider that we're seeing. So I'm going to collapse all of that, and I'm actually going to put the character controller component. Here's the thing, you will see that it's actually gets created right on the center, so we need to raise a little bit the center. And for now I'm going to disable my capsule collider because I want to see if I'm just going to go and fall down. Let's hit play. And of course we do that. So let's introduce back our controller, our collider, not controller, and we're actually going to make this the same height as our character controller. And I think that didn't work. We're still falling down. We're still falling. Oh, we're going up actually. Okay. Hold on. I think we got an issue. I think it's probably with these colliders everywhere. Oh, yeah. No, the issue is with the projection, because we are not checking for normal right now. We're simply, because we're not checking for normal, it tries to project it on a plane that doesn't exist, which means 0, 0, 0, which means you keep going up for that reason. So we have capsule collider enabled. Let's bring this guy to the side and let's hit play just so that we can see how it's going to affect you. Okay, now it's fine. We are moving super fast and we're actually moving upwards for some reason. So let's go and fix that as well. Now, do we have a speed? We do not have a speed. So, well, first of all, yeah, we do have the movement speed on our controller. Let's put the character controller on top of our controller. And let's take a look at our movement speed. Movement speed is 4, so I'm just going to change all of them to 1. Let's see now. Okay, that's super fast again. And let's see why that is. We have target velocity. That should be mostly normal. Movement speed, sprinting, okay. That's for the lock-on. That's where we want to use. Move direction is calculated from, okay, we introduced that move direction. Then we have, we applied just a, yeah, okay, that's why. Because target velocity needs to be applied by time dot delta time. And I think we have a delta, do we? Well, we don't, so let's add it. I think we can try subdividing as well. We'll see. Oh, we already have it? Yeah, we already have it. Okay. Yeah, okay. We're doing something wrong then. So let's try something different. Then, inside our move character, instead of applying the target velocity as a velocity, actually I think we don't even need to apply this relative to our own player. So let's try, we have the move direction, which means let's yeah, okay, here's the thing. Let's make sure we only have the stuff we need. So cut that. I'm going to bring this here, and for target velocity, let's just assign the move direction for now. We need to make sure that our move direction is normalized before we pass it, which it is. So, hold on. Movement direction, camera transform. Okay, so we should be moving towards where the camera is looking now, without any applied value. However, come to think of it, yeah, okay, we do multiply by delta. God damn it. Are we even on the ground then? Let's see. Let's add a debug log for target velocity to see what we're actually having here. Okay, so the actual problem was that we had a rigid body onto our collider, and that's why we're flying, because we were adding, the rigid body was actually getting forces. So we don't really need the rigid body anymore. So the next thing that you'll ask is, then how are we going to control if we are falling or not? Then, first of all, we will need a rigid body because we have colliders, and if we do not assign a collider, rigid body to our colliders, it means it will have to recalculate every time, and of course we want them to collide with other things. So I'm just going to take this as kinematics. So now we're going to be moving only with this, our target velocity. So the next thing you'll say is, but if you are not falling, if you're not using a rigid body with physics, then what's going to happen when you are up here? And you'll be correct to assume that we're just going to fly. We're moving in different positions. That's why we're going like that, because we just take raw camera values, which is also another thing that we should fix, because we should be projected. Although I think, yeah, it should be correct with our projection. So the trick to that is on the controller, and let's actually rename this to character controller. There is a flag. If you're grounded, you can't get a lot of things, it's just a bool. So basically what grounding means is you're touching the ground. So if you're not grounded, we're simply going to assign the gravity you have on your target velocity towards where you're going. So let's hit play now and we'll see what's going to happen. And as you might have guessed, we simply just fall down. Perfect. So the next thing that we need to do is, of course, we need to project our velocity on the plane we are actually going. Now, we do have a check ground method that all it does is basically does a raycast down, and then yeah, it does a lot of other things that we have no need or use anymore right now, but we do need a raycast to find the projection of the plane we're actually going to. Okay, so we're going to write it ourselves, and I think we can just copy this entire method, and we're going to say find projection plane. Okay, I'm going to ignore all of this. We don't need this. We just need hit the origin, can be that, although right now it doesn't really matter because we don't care if we're going up and down. So whatever, let's just use that. Or actually, yeah, let's just use these same values. The distance, I think I'm just going to hard code it to 1, so I'm going to remove that as well. Okay, let's say 1. For ground check, this can still stay, and we're not really going to be doing anything else with here, only assigning the current normal, and then ignore the angle. Let's see, we were checking if we're falling or not, so whatever. Okay, and on the else of this, we're simply going to assign, well, we're just going to leave. Or actually, you know what, it will be safer if we say the current normal will be transfer.forward. Oh, actually no, transfer.up, because it's a projection. Okay, so find projection plane. Over here, we have a target velocity, which is basically our move direction, only our move direction. Then we're going to make that target velocity projected onto our plane. And right before we check if we're grounded, right before we apply physics. Okay, and right before we move. So we're now moving with right on the plane we are in, so we can go down, up without having any serious changes on our logic. And I think I kind of want to fix the move direction as well. We'll take care of that in a bit. So let's bring back the stuff we need for our animations to play. Pretty much. Okay, I think I don't think we need this anymore. Let's comment, let's comment out. We'll see what that is, why we need it. So pretty much everything has to do with before you project the velocity, we're going to calculate anything new that we might need. Okay, so for example, let's uncomment this, cut that, and then we have target velocity, find projection on plane, and then we are over here. If we are on lock on and we're not sprinting, then our target velocity will be relative to our own transform, because our own transform will look towards the target. We want to be looking towards the target. Okay, which means we overwrite it. Now this needs to go because we want to keep the target velocity, but of course we need to know what speed we're using, which means both of these don't actually need to be in here, because we need to know the speed. We change from movement speed to sprint speed and so on. Then if we're interacting, we override everything to the target velocity, and we should say speed, I guess, can just be at movement speed for the target velocity when you're interacting. Then to assign that speed onto our controller, we're going to do delta subdivide by speed. Okay, so let's see the changes. We have, apart from the jump, we don't really have a lot of, we don't really have any behaviors that we do not rewrote over here. Okay, check ground is useless anymore. So, well, it's not useless. We're going to need some things from it, but right now it's useless. So comment it out. We have the handle animations and we have the handle damage colliders. I think I like to, well, at least for the animations, well, you know what, just keep it here. We're going to write it. We're just going to call the same method as well. Hand rotation will still remain the same. Okay, so let's try it out. Okay, and we do not have the, we do not have, oh no, the animations playing. And let's see for player controller. Now for our movement speed, basically the smaller value we have, the faster we will move. So let's say maybe 0.2. Okay. So let's say 0.4, 0.29 or 28, whatever. Now, so let's see the why the animations are not playing. And handle animations, we do pass the horizontal, the vertical, move direction. Now the animations are not playing because I have no clue. And I think, well, the animations should be playing based on if you're locked on or not, first of all. So just drop that down here. Then, if you're locked on, let's see, what else do we do here? Oh yeah, that's why they're not playing, because we do have is grounded and or not. Now, we have a flag for is grounded, and that is, we can just use the same thing from the character controller. And I think just that should probably do the trick for it, because we don't really have anything else to it or anything else that's different. Okay. And there we go. We have everything. Now, you won't be able to tell the difference from the video, but let me tell you that this is much smoother. And it behaves better with collisions. And we can go up and down slopes as well, which we will see in the next, in the stairs video, in the next level. And now we do need to kind of fix our positions. Let's remove the gizmos, we don't really care. We kind of need to fix our speed, and we kind of need to fix our interactions. Okay, so that is really lovely. We are moving really nice and smooth. Even when rotating the camera, I think it's a little bit... Okay, we might need to take care of the camera as well. Now, let's take a look on why our camera is adding... Well, actually, to do that, we need to just check the move direction, what values we are passing. So that's the raw move direction. And we'll see if we have that issue again. Okay, well, I think, yeah, okay, there it is. There's our values. This is a problem. As you can see, the values, we have values on the Y. This is a problem because you're actually pushing your character down and upwards with the camera. So we don't want that either. So let's go back. And I think it's the camera transform that is doing the problem. So I'm just going to say the camera holder. I'm going to change that. Then down here, well, probably down here. Yeah, here it is. We're just going to change the camera holder from camera transform. That is because the camera holder is always, its rotation is always the same. We're not really looking at the camera. We're not moving up and down with our camera there. Okay, so this is the camera holder. Let's assign that. Actually, where is this? Yeah, in the input manager. That's the camera transfer, that's the wrong. Camera holder. We don't have to assign the camera, but doesn't hurt if we actually do it either way. What's this? Oh, we do have the scene machine. Okay. So that's for the camera holder, and that should fix the problem. Let's try. So I think we're ready to just try and test it on the other one. Yeah, okay, we're not ready. As you can see, our lovely animations are not currently working with our movements. So let's go down here. My first, well, the first culprit I'd say will be to check here what's happening. So I'm going to just say debug.log over here, target velocity. Normal physics velocity. Okay. To play. Okay, so there it is. We are in interacting, we just don't get any delta position, which is weird since we didn't touch. Oh, we have a oops. Yeah, we had a velocity multiplier, which I have no idea where this is coming from. So let's try this. I think we were using this when we were playing the animation just so that we can jump a little bit, or we can roll a little bit more, but I don't think we need it anymore. Okay, I think we were using that for the roll. Okay, we weren't using it anywhere. God damn it. Let's see, move, dot move. Let's delete this. We don't need it. We don't need this. Okay, let's check our target velocity now. Let's also make sure that the delta position we have is subdivided by delta. Okay, that's what we need. There might be a case that we do a lot of there might be a case that we do a lot of subdivisions with deltas, so we're going to have to take into account that. So, you know what? Okay, so I'm going to say if we're interacting, just for now, is interacting, we'll do a return over here, and we're simply going to be passing the velocity by the speed. No, actually, we're just going to pass the velocity. Speed is not a factor inside when we're moving with root motion, because, well, actually, since this returned 0, it could be this is not updating. I don't know. Yeah, so as I was saying, speed is not a factor when moving with root motion because the animator already moved the animation. Okay, we're still getting 0, so that's probably coming from somewhere else then. Delta position is still 0, 0, 0 from what I can see. Well, the weird part is I have no idea why it's still 0, 0, 0, because we didn't actually touch. Oh, yeah, we didn't actually touch the delta position. Let's see. Oh, I think I know why that is. Let's see the animator hook. And on animator move. Animator equals null. It's not the I. Huh. There we go. That's the issue. So I'm going to ignore this part entirely. We're all going to keep the delta if it's greater than 0, because we're always going to be grounded. Okay. And if you're not interacting, I think this doesn't really matter. We're not really doing anything. We control when the delta position is happening. So I think this doesn't matter. And we only need to, we're actually not going to even take a look at the controller anymore. We're going to do it proactively. Okay, so on the controller then, I'm still not sure if we should be using speed, and I think we shouldn't really use speed because when we are interacting. So if that's the case, we still want to project this though. Okay, then if that's the case, target velocity by delta speed, I think we should do, let's remove the speed, target velocity here should be target velocity by delta by speed. If we're interacting, target velocity will be delta position. Delta position is already subdivided by delta, so that should be correct. And then simply assign the target velocity. In both of these cases, you still want to project the velocity on your current normal, and you still want to apply gravity to the situation. Okay, so let's test this out. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so what the hell is this then? I'm not sure what on earth? Okay, it could be this, but I'm also not sure. Target velocity, this is correct. So up till here, we are correct. Let's try one thing. Let's ignore for now. Actually, no, we still need to do this. Delta position else. Well, okay, I think that's an offset, so okay. Let's leave it as we had it before. So this can go. Then we will assign the delta position, and then we will still use delta by speed. Let's humor it and see what the end result will be, because this is getting a little bit annoying because we didn't have all these small issues, and I don't know why he decides to keep flying. Well, that is correct. The only problem that I don't like is that we're actually moving by speed right now. So oops. Let's try one more thing. Again, and let's multiply this now by delta without having the speed affecting our delta position. Because I think that was probably the issue. I think the delta position was probably too much of a value. Well, we'll see. Yeah, that's actually correct. Okay, those are the attacks the animator did. And now we have proper root motion, and you can see that we're going smoothly up and down the terrain. Okay, we're using a mesh collider on that terrain, and you can see that we fix all of the elevations and so on and so on. Now let's save this as our prefab that we're using, and I think I had it. Is it here? No. Prefabs, player references. Okay, so I'm going to replace that. Then inside we're going to change scenes to the new scene. I hope that's the new scene. It could be the wrong scene. Yeah, it's the wrong scene. Level. So let's hit play and let's play a little bit, see what's happening. Okay, let's put and we have the rolls as well. They work properly. And now we are kind of, for some reason we are stuck. Okay. I don't know why we're going too slow. We're going really slow. So let's try something. Since we do have a rigid body that is kinematic, and since we do have a capsule collider, we actually don't really need the capsule collider to touch the ground. The character controller already does that, and we already move up and down. Yeah, we already control if we are on the ground or not. So I'm just going to assign a smaller capsule collider and see if that affects us. The other thing that we have to take into account is the plane that we're using, the projection plane. I think I'd like to see it in the inspector just so that we know what's actually happening in here. Okay, let's do a split view. After this compiles, of course. Let's put this on the side because I kind of want to be seeing what's on our player. Okay, let's drop a directional light first of all, and then I'm going to select my player controller and I'm going to press Shift F, which will make us follow the target. Okay, as you can see, I'm not actually falling down, so I should be having much easier time to go over the terrain over there. And in fact, that's the case. We are going nice and easy up and down. There is a few offsets, but that's because of the colliders on the terrain. It's not something we have to do. And okay, so when I locked, we actually have, yeah, our speed is terrible when we are on lock on. So we have to fix that as well. Let's go and try the stairs now and see how it's going to behave down there. And I think that's sort of fine. The camera is probably going up and down weirdly because on the left side it goes pretty smoothly. So I think what's misbehaving right now it's the camera and not our controller. So we'll fix the camera as well. Okay. Now Let's fix then the lock-on. Let's take a look at our behavior, which means when we are lock-on and when we are on velocity, when we are lock-on and we're not sprinting, okay, the target velocity will be around transfer forward by vertical by movement speed. That's the case. We just need to remove the movement speed. Okay. Removing the movement speed, because our movement speed now was 0.3.4, it was clamping down, or it was scaling down the movement, or where our target velocity, if you will. Okay, let's go forward. Actually, I want to assign the torch as well, because why not? We might need to find the proper speed for him. But yeah, I'm now moving with the same speed. As we're not on lock-on. And I think we are kind of breaking. No, we're not breaking. Okay, those are dead. The other problem that you might see is our enemies cannot rotate even when they are dead. It might have to do something with this. We'll see that. Now, I think we need to change a little bit the speed. Let's do it 0.3, 0.2. Yeah, 0.3 and 0.2. That will do it. And kind of have to fix the colliders on there as well. So 0.3, 0.2. Roll speed, I don't even know. I think adapt speed is not used anymore. Rotation speed is used. Attack rotation speed is also used. Ground distance, it's not used. Ground speed, I don't know what this is. Ground distance ray, this is not used anymore. Okay. So, say you wanted to add the jump back in. Cut this. And when we're checking if we are on the ground or not, if we have the jump flag, we're going to assign the target velocity to a jump force. Okay, we're not using this anymore, and we're not using this either. Okay, so the skip grounding now needs to go in here. So on the check ground, we're going to cut this and paste it in here. We're not going to do a return, and we're not going to be checking if you're grounded or not. So if skip grounding is greater than 0, put it, make it go a little bit, well, subtract from it. This can be changed to delta. And only if you're not moving, if you have the skip grounding like this, then only apply target velocity. So we only apply downwards force if we say that, we want to go up. So don't check for grounding for the next 3 seconds or whatever. Okay, let's give this a shot. Let's try it. And I think we're done with this part. As I said, we still have a lot of things to fix And I don't know how we were jumping. Okay, so we might not even using the jump flag anymore. And jump flag, I believe, yeah, jump flag should close here. So we add target velocity by jump force. Let's say character move target velocity. Let's do move vector 3 dot up by jump force. Let's also add debug log for jump flag. Okay, we do not actually have the jump flag. Yeah, we're not actually running the jump flag, that was the issue. So let's take a look at our inputs, and we had the jump, should have been space, and what else? Space, then let's see where this gets turned on. Open jump flag, which is called nowhere. Oh, what? Okay. Then on the input manager, then we need to have a jump, handle jump. Here we go. Here it is. We need to remove the grounding. Well, if you want to be specific about it, if you don't want to change all of this, where we're setting grounding or not, and I think we only have one more place that is inside on ground or check ground, so that will be fine. For this one now, for the animation, if we're grounded or not, we're simply going to change this to character controller dot is grounded. Then I'm not going to, I actually don't need it now, not that because I removed all of it. If you wanted to just do a shortcut, you could just say return character controller is grounded, and it will be the same thing. Okay, I don't actually need it right now, so I'm just going to remove it. I'm actually just going to remove all of it and be done with that. And oops, I think we got, okay. These are not used anymore, so don't bother with them, don't worry. These are all inside the old ungrounded method. We're still going to need these two things to know if we're falling or not. But right now we don't need any of this. So I think with that we should also be able to just jump when we're sprinting. Okay, that is correct. We are doing something weird though. And I think that weird thing is from the delta position. If we look on our delta position over here, you see that the Y is a bit weird, but I think we're also overriding. Yeah, that could be the case, that we are overriding our movements. So this needs to go. So target velocity dot Why? Jump force. Let's just try jump force. Jump flag. Okay, we know this is working. Jump flag. Okay, let's take this. Let's check this out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have no idea why the fuck this is happening. What on earth? I think it might have to do with this. Although, let's take a look. Is trigger, material, distance, radius, skin width, slope limit, step offset, tag. Now we can only get the velocity. The thing is, this jumps up, but it resets right away. But it could be because he's interacting. So let's also say if character controller is grounded, you're all going to be applying that. So anyway, whatever happens, this will be the last thing we do for this part, because we are close to an hour and there's no point delaying it. Just for the jump, I'm going to take care of the jump later, if at all. Well, okay, we're probably going to do it, but it's not the priority right now. Yeah, okay, it's not that either. Let's see, player references, player controller. Is interacting. Yeah, okay, let's finish this part. It doesn't matter. We're going to fix the animations next, because we kind of want to have all this working in a nice way, and we kind of want to have the combos play with both hands, because right now they only play with one hand, because this animation is going to try and play this animation and not vice versa. Same with this, I believe. Actually, that's kind of weird that will actually happen, but we're gonna have to check. Anyway, so I'll see you on the next one. As always, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and if you like to see more stuff, more videos, more series, more of everything, of course, consider supporting me on Patreon if you haven't already, so we can continue, keep making this into a really nice game, especially now that things start to get polished a lot more. I'll see you on the next one.